He seems to even go on and support Hitler. Let me show you a little video.
We've done here is establish a place where we have control over who our neighbors are, and that is just for the sake of preserving, our culture.
And that culture effectively was saying this is a white culture, a whites only place.
White American culture. Yeah, not just white, but white American.
But what this sounds like is bringing back segregation. Is that a fair assessment?
Well, it's free association. So we're not trying to keep other people down. This is a small settlement in the middle of the Ozarks.
But they are being kept out.
You don't let everyone into your home.
This is their symbol. Eric insists that what they're doing is entirely legal. He says it's a private club, so it's exempt from equality legislation. And just so you know, there are plans to expand this in other areas. I thought I'd leave you guys with just a little more information that you're probably going to want to pause and read from Eric Orwell.
I am always struck by how scary Black people are to white people, specifically white people, because I think about how every time there's like an all Black anything, we're being accused of racism. And there's all these attacks happening right now against any all Black program, all Black graduations, all Black funding for businesses. And that can't be anything but fear, because if I say that I'm doing something for women, if I say I'm doing a women's empowerment network, if I say that I'm having a meeting for women to create unity in the corporate arena, there would be not one complaint. If I said that I was doing a meeting for the LGBTQIA community, there would not be one complaint. People would get it. They'd rally behind it and say it was great. But the minute Black people want to unite, want to come together, want to form any sort of alliance, there's so much energy against it. And that just shows the fear. And that also should message to Black people how powerful we are and how important it is that we do indeed unite. And
Wagwan kings and queens from Africa and across the ocean, I send so much love and power to you. Thank you thank you so much for tuning in, because this conversation here is one of the most important we can have today. I hope you have gone to the other episodes and you have watched them. Now, I want to talk about something that many try to hide here, something that people pretend doesn't exist anymore. But lately, it has come to limelight, and that is white-only towns. In 2025 right now, we have white-only towns. I heard they are building one in Kansas. Now, here's the truth. White-only towns are not just about separation. They are about fear. Fear of Black people. Fear of our people. Fear of what it means when Black people stand strong, united and unapologetic. They try to make it look like they want peace and safety. But if you look deep, personally, if I look deep, if you look deep, you will see that what's really going on is that they are terrified. Because when Black people shows up, when we build, when Black people unite, when we shine, the entire system shrinks. Now, I want to go on this journey of revealing the fear and, Black power affected this and etc., etc. But before I do that, I want you to watch these clips of reactions of white-only towns. And then I have something to talk to you. Take up to the end.
It's so weird watching Black people get mad at white people for starting functioning white communities.
Yeah, we don't care, dog. We don't give a flying fuck. Like, there's a lot of white audacity this week. Like, you guys are sitting around making up these narratives that we care about whites only towns. Mind you, one of these towns are in the mountains. Black people not going up there. We are not going up there. As a matter of fact, thank you. Thank you for telling us where it's going to be, because that's where we will not be. Okay, we can duck and dodge that town. We won't even stop in that town for gas. And the crazy thing is, historically, Black people have never cared about white people making white-only towns. Never. Now, if we're sitting there and you think that we're going to move out of our house or anything like that, then you got another thing coming. But you going off on your own, we've never pillaged white towns before. We've never done what they did to Tulsa, Oklahoma. We've never done that. Black people specifically have never done that. We've never gone into white communities and just pillaged. So it's not us that care. It's y'all. You know what I'm saying? That's why this is viral. This is viral because you want some type of feeling from black people. And we're going to say the same thing in every video. We do not care.
When y'all made that all-white town in Arkansas, how did y'all expect black people to react? Did y'all want us to like riot? Did you want us to like burn the city down, protest? How did y'all expect us to react? Because the reaction that you're getting is clearly not what you were looking for. Because if that would be the case, you wouldn't be trying to open up a whole nother city just like Arkansas. You know, we've been excluded from places pretty much for generations. So why the fuck would we care about being excluded from a town in West Bumblefuck? You're acting like we can't go to Miami or LA or fucking Atlanta. Bitch, we don't give a fuck about Arkansas. I ain't never even been to Arkansas, and I have no intentions on going there. Like, what the fuck? And like, think about it like this though. Like, y'all not even just excluding black people, y'all excluding Jewish people, you know, people that could possibly look just like you guys. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like y'all trying to exclude y'all own people too at this point. So what y'all thought y'all was going, where y'all thought that was gonna go for y'all? You know what I mean? Or you trying to rage bait us to see if we gonna get out our body? I'm curious to see what kind of reaction y'all were hoping to get from us. You know what I mean? Because we don't really give a fuck.
You know, I really don't think anyone should be surprised by the fact that a whites-only community is popping up in Missouri. Racist white people are going to do racist shit, okay? Especially in the current political climate. We saw this last time when Trump was president. The racists felt emboldened. They kept doing more racial bullshit. There's plenty of stats for this. Go look it up yourself. You're a grown person. That being said, we know how it's going to end. All right, this is the same as every other cult that has popped up, because I do genuinely believe that racism runs so deep in people's minds, it indoctrinates them like a cult. Especially in white communities, because white parents pass down white supremacy onto their kids because they just never learned white patriarchal society. It's one of those things that, and it's not excusable. That is not an excuse. I'm simply trying to say where it comes from. It's why so many white people talk about deconstruction, talk about going through all these things, because especially if you grew up in the Bible Belt, in a southern in like a Bible Belt small town, that is part of deconstructing from leaving a white town. A small town is, oh fuck, everyone I knew was racist as shit. Though that was all racist shit they were saying. I do not feel bad for the adults one bit. They are full-grown adults. I don't give a fuck. They've been shamed. Look, they have been so successfully shamed out of society for their racist-ass beliefs that they genuinely believe they have to set up their own community. That's beautiful to me. The only thing that I genuinely feel remorse for in the whole thing are the kids. We know how this is going to end here in 6 or 7 years. There's going to be a hell of a documentary about this, about all of the child abuse and all of the sexual abuse that is going to happen in these towns. That is the overwhelming factor that always happens in these white nationalist cults, is massive amounts of child abuse that the parents are going to cover up. The parents will never admit to putting their children around predators. They will never even come to terms with the fact that they are best friends with predators who are openly going to prey on their own children. They don't genuinely give a fuck about their kids. They never have. They never will. They just want to be racist. That's the end of it. They have no culture to protect. They have none of that shit. No, they just want to say racist shit and homeschool their kids and keep them racist and indoctrinate them. So we see exactly how this is going to play out, because it is played out this way in every other Christian community. Predators will rise to the top. The women and men around them will protect them. And here in about 6 to 10 years, you'll see a survivor come out saying, you know, a kid that was born before they got into the cult. You know, the kid that remembers life being kind of normal before their parents went off the deep end with Trump. Those kids will eventually come out and go, yeah, no, there's a ton of sexual abuse going on. There's a ton of child abuse. There's a ton of spousal abuse. And it's going to repeat because we have not successfully done a good enough job in getting these kind of people out of society. And that's the truth. They are so arrogant to their own actions, because it's not ignorance. Ignorance is more of, I'm doing things and I don't understand the consequence. They are blatantly doing things and ignoring consequence. That is arrogance. There is all the literature in the world you can read or even listen to or just engage in to break those cycles, and they refuse to do it. They're just going to keep the white quota going. And that's their goal at the end of the day. They want to maintain that power structure. They want to maintain that some white dude is on top of power. And that's what they want. So no, this, as disgusting as it is, it's not surprising in the least bit. Look at the current climate we are in. They are going to be trying to do this more and more because they feel emboldened. They know the government's on their side. They know that the entire controlling government is currently on the sides of racists and pedophiles. So of course they're going to be emboldened to do these awful things. Unless someone is going to go down there and stop it personally, it's never going to stop. We would need multiple John Browns at this point to even attempt to stop what is coming.
I recently saw a viral video from a white content creator who claimed that white-only signs were being put up in Missouri. He said he didn't care about the reasoning behind it, that now's the time for people to speak up. Well, allow me to speak up too. Let's make one thing clear. Segregation was never the problem. White supremacy was. After slavery ended, Black Americans built thriving self-sufficient communities. Oscarville, Seneca Village, Black Wall Street. And what happened? We circulated our own money, supported our own businesses, and we flourished until they burnt it down, drowned it, or seized it through their so-called laws. We were never afraid of being separate. We were afraid of being attacked for succeeding while being separate. Integration didn't save us, it diluted us, and it mostly benefited white folks. Because let's be honest, most Black folks today don't center whiteness in their lives. I can go weeks, even months, without socializing with a single white person, and I'm just fine. The only reason we still interact is because we have to, for work, for survival, for systems that were never built for us. So when I hear talk of white-only towns, my first thought is, good luck. Not because we are angry, but because you'll still need us to survive. You don't want white-only spaces. You want white-only control with Black, brown, and immigrant labor. You want white-only luxury with multicultural sweat. If you really want separation, real honest segregation, you stop interfering every time Black people build something beautiful. The Black dollar is $1 billion power. We've built before, and we will again. But this time, we demand peace. Our ancestors only fought to be included in spaces because they were locked out of resources. We don't want your acceptance. We want our autonomy. So if you want white-only towns, by all means, go build them. But this time, leave us alone while we build ours too. No burning, no bombing, no sabotage. Because separation can work, but only if your supremacy doesn't follow us into it.
Black folks, let's talk real quick. White people, y'all can stay too if you want to. But Black folks, let's talk. It's been an uptick in racism since Trump. Y'all know that. Y'all know. Y'all seen that they building a whites only town. I want to say it's in Ozark or something like that. Missouri. Is Ozark in Missouri? I don't know. Only Ozark I know is the Netflix show. I never heard of Ozark before that. But they're building a whites only town. And it's a white creator on here. I'm going to post his picture. He was so flabbergasted. Oh, it's 2025. We shouldn't be doing that. Yes, the fuck they should. And please build more. Please build more. Let us know who you are. Because I want to know that I don't need to fuck with you. Build more. Move there. Because our ancestors built this shit. I ain't going nowhere. I promise you that. I ain't going no fucking where. I'm going to go and visit other places. But me and my black ass and my black ass children, we're going to be right here in these United States. So please move to your whites only town. Baby, stay there. They're also building a whites only restaurant. Please. Have at it. Please fix your mayo and salt and pepper. Baby, cook your food. We don't want it. And I don't want you spitting in my food because you don't like the color of my skin. I don't want you working at a restaurant that I will patronize. So please do it. The lady who walked into the urology doctor and the doctor had that tacky ass big Trump flag on the wall. I'm going to put a picture of that too. Baby, you seen what you needed to see. Get the fuck out of there and go to another one. You feel me? It's so many black people and minorities die at the hands of racist doctors who put on this fake mask, this fake facade, like they are okay with us and they're not. I don't care what y'all try to say. Black people has been saying for years that motherfuckers is racist. When are you going to start listening? People is racist before Trump. People have been racist before fucking Trump. It is not new. They're just more bold now, and I appreciate them for that. Baby, come on out. Come on out. And I know I get on here with my bonnets and stuff, but when I step outside that door, I don't look like where I come from, okay? But best believe I will cuss you the fuck out. I don't look like I will pop the fuck off, but I will. And it surprised people every single time. I don't fuck around with no Karens. I never will. And I thank God. God knows what I can bear because I have never encountered a Karen. I will pop the fuck off. I'm not accepting shit from nobody. And let's talk about Sade. Is it Sade or Sadie? You remember the lady who was talking about them kids and the flood and stuff like that in Texas? I didn't listen to fully what she said. I didn't listen at all. I don't know what she said, and I cannot find the original video at all. I just see people doing stitches about her. Now, if you watch my videos at all, you seen that I enjoyed my 4th of July. I really had a great time. My family has not gotten together in years. My mom passed away December 26th of 2023. And this is our first time getting together as a family. I had the best time. I was not on social media. I was not on my phone. And when I logged in a couple of days later, the first thing I seen that like it was a mass flood and people were suffering. I was like, well, damn, I'm having the time of my life and some people are going through the worst time of their life. I made a video about it. I felt so bad, so much so that anytime I seen somebody making a story on it, I kept scrolling because I could not see it because we was just now celebrating or happy, since my mom passed away in like a year and a half ago. And so to see that people are dying, like I was like, I can't take it. Emotionally, I just couldn't fucking take it. So foundationally, whatever she said, I do not agree with any type of celebration or any type of anything in regards to the kids dying. But let's talk about the other side of that. We was just talking about like these whites only town. That town that's in Texas was majority white. And typically a town that's typically majority white are fucking racist. Almost all of them are. It's the reason why everything has happened. Desegregation has happened. Everything has happened. And that town only has white people. It's the fucking reason. It's history behind that. So when you start encountering black people who speak out and say things about these towns and about situations, they have more of a skewed view of it. This is why, because motherfuckers is racist, okay? They're fucking racist. And quite frankly, I'm getting sick of it. Well, I've been sick of it. I never liked it. Never. When I was growing up, I thought all white people was racist. I had to tell myself when I was in my early 20s that all white people not racist because my first partner that I had when I was working was an old white man. And he was cool as fuck. And I was like, well, damn, let me not be closed-minded. Let me give other people a chance. I had to tell myself that. I had to force myself to open up to other races because I thought motherfuckers was racist because I experienced so much racism as a dark-skinned person just growing up in the South in Florida. So I'm saying all this to say is let motherfuckers show us who they are. It's okay. And I want to say also that black people were at their best when we were segregated. Just think about how strong our dollar is today. If we would have kept that dollar in our black communities and patronized black spaces only, you know how wealthy we would be? If white people did not get jealous and bomb our cities when we were thriving. Like, when you start thinking about shit real hard, it's kind of truly fucked up that you hated us so fucking much. You ate us, killed us off, fed our kids to crocs and alligators, and now We can't even just live and exist. You mean to tell me you mad because I'm breathing, yo? Fuck you. Like, really and sincerely, fuck y'all.
Now, there is a history here we try to bury. Do you know that after slavery, that supposedly ended, never ended fully, but America was filled with what they called sundown towns. Do you know that? And these were places where black people were not allowed to stay after sunset. So if you are caught there after sunset, you could be harassed, arrested, or even lynched. The signposts were bold. Don't let the sun set on you here. That was their message. And it was their law. Now, why did they do that? According to what I'm trying to think. Because they feared the presence of black people. They feared that if we lived next to them, we would compete, that we will rise and we will prove that their so-called superiority was a lie. That's what they feared. And family, this wasn't just in the South. This was across America. From Illinois to Indiana, I think to California, Texas. Sundown towns stretched everywhere, if I remember well. Let me tell you something. White-only towns were never about protecting their culture. White-only towns were about protecting their illusion, the illusion that they were the center of the world, the illusion that they were chosen, the illusion that they were untouchable. But deep down, they knew one black family moving into that town could shake everything. That's what they knew. Because the presence of black people, the excellence, survival, the culture exposes their weakness. Some people will hear me talk about white-only towns and say, that was long ago, things are different now. But here's the reality. These towns still exist. I know you have come across what is being built in Arkansas. I know you have come across the one in South Africa. You know, some of them are just hidden under new names, new rules. Right now, they no longer post signs like black people are not allowed. Instead, they use zoning laws. They use a housing association. They use schools, district boundaries. They use economic barriers like property prices. So it is still there. Even if it's not the Arkansas, that the one is being built in Arkansas and the one in South Africa, but it's still there. Think about it. Have you ever seen those neighborhoods where the houses cost millions? You know, when I watch Hollywood movies, I see there's places, houses cost millions and there's some places cheap, you know. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Because on those neighborhoods where houses cost millions, schools are majority white. And it's where the police patrol to make sure outsiders don't, you know, those who don't belong, they don't loiter there. We have barriers like property prices. You know, let me tell you, that is the modern form of white-only town. And guess what? It's not only in America. In South Africa too. Decades after apartheid that we think it ended, you still have small towns and enclaves where only white people lives, where black people are allowed in only as workers, not as neighbors. Even in Europe, there are towns and villages where immigrations is resisted fearlessly, where the population is kept deliberately white, you know? So being real, I will say segregation didn't die. It just learned how to wear a suit and tie. It learned how to disguise as economics, you know, as choice, as tradition. But underneath, the root is the same. Fear of black power. Why do white-only towns exist, if you may think? Why are they so determined to separate themselves from us? You know? I think the answer is simple. The fear of our power. The fear of our economic power. You know? Because when black people unite and circulate our dollars within our communities, we create businesses. We create wealth and independence. And when that happens, their monopoly weakens. You know, they fear our culture power because every single culture they have is borrowed. Every single culture they have is remixed. If it's not remixed, it is stolen from us. Name it music, fashion, language, even dance, from hip-hop to jazz, from braids to streetwear. We set the trend and they follow. They fear our spiritual power because our connection to God, to ancestors, to the universe is strong. And that's why they worked so hard during slavery and colonization to break it, but they failed. And today you see more and more of them secretly turning to African spirituality while pretending they don't need us. Have you seen that? They are doing that here. I see some of them are turning to traditional spirituality, to African spirituality. And most importantly, they fear our unity. I always say that they fear black people's unity. Because when black Americans, black Africans, and black people in Caribbean, in Europe come together, it destroys their narrative. They've always tried to divide us, to make us feel different. But the truth is, our unity is their greatest nightmare. What they are doing to ban, to put advisory, to ban black people from moving, Africans from going to this country, what they are doing is not about security issues. It's to restrict. It is to avoid this unity. So white-only towns aren't built on pride. They are built on panic. There's a panic. They are little fortress where they hope to escape the unstoppable race of black people. And let me expose something. White-only towns are built on the illusion that white people are better, are more advanced, or more civilized. But if that was true, why do they even need that white-only town? If you are better, show us. Live in the midst of us. Why do they build walls? Why? Why do they build gates? Why laws just to keep black people away? Why do they panic when a single black family moves into their neighborhood? Why do they collapse when black culture becomes global culture? Because deep down they know the truth. Priority doesn't run. Priority doesn't hide. It only weakens, does that. And that's why you see them creating these bubbles, because outside of their bubble, they cannot compete with us. Our rhythm, our brilliance, resilience, man, it cannot be matched. And that's why they are scared of. That's what they are scared of. And we all say history repeating itself. This is not new. It's not new. From the very beginning, their entire system has been built on fear of black power. And why they enslave Africans is because they saw the strength of Africans. They saw our Africans, our strength, they saw our skills, they saw our kingdoms, and they feared competition. The reason why they did colonize Africa is because they knew Africa was too rich, too powerful, and too resourceful, and it left united. It left united. This will dominate the world. They knew Africa will dominate the world, and that's where we are going. The reason why they put Jim Crow laws is because even after slavery, black people are thriving. Black people are building businesses, schools, and towns, and the success of black people scared them. Every policy, every law you see, every so-called protection they create, it all comes from the same root. Fear to us. Now in 2025, you see white-only towns and you're like, damn it, why? What do you fear? It's just the continuation of fear. So white-only towns today are nothing but modern sundown towns. Instead of saying, don't let the sun set on you here, they say you can't afford to live here. Instead of saying no blacks allowed, they say this neighborhood is not for you. Instead of lynch mobs, they use police. They use laws. It is the same system, just rebranded, and yet, despite all this, black people still rise. Black people still rise. We should not be discouraged by white-only towns. In fact, their very existence is proof of our power. Think about it. If black people were powerless, if we were irrelevant, will they need white-only spaces? Will they need to build walls? Will they need to hide? No. They need separate. They need to separate, or they need that separation precisely because we are too powerful to ignore. Their fear is the greatest evidence of our strength. And every wall they build is just a confession that we can't stop you. We can only run from you. White-only towns cannot stop the future. That's how it is. The future they can't stop. They can't, because our power is not contained by geography. Our power is cultural, economic, spiritual. It's global. That's why you see global black global awakening. If they lock themselves away in little enclaves, the world outside is changing. Africa is rising, black Americans are uniting, the diaspora is connecting like never before. And every attempt to separate themselves only makes them look more desperate, more irrelevant. The future belongs to us, black people. And no walls, no gates, and no white-only town could stop that. But at the end of the day, I will call one thing. I will call for unity. That's the only thing I will call for us to keep going. We don't have to waste time begging to be included in their spaces. We don't waste energy knocking at their doors. Instead, let's focus, let's unite, let's build our towns, let's build our businesses, let's build our culture stronger. We create our own safe places, safe spaces, not out of fear, but out of love, pride, and power. So because the day we fully unite is the day we truly invest in ourselves. It is the day their fear becomes reality. Let me leave you with this. White-only towns are not signs of their strength. They are not signs of their weakness. They are proofs that black power is real, that black power is unstoppable and undeniable. The next time you hear about the white-only town, don't see it as an excuse, exclusion, or you are tired. You are like, no, see it as a confirmation that we are rising, we are the future, that our unity shakes the foundation of their system. And remember, we don't need to fear their towns. It is them who fears us. So tell me what you think in the comments section about this video. Until next episode, peace out.